first to former Secretary of State, former CIA director, and Fox News contributor Mike Pompeo. He is on Iran's target list, has been since his time as Secretary of State, due to the maximum pressure campaign that was instituted under the Trump administration against Iran. Secretary Pompeo, good to have you here, sir. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Great to be with you, Martha.
What was your reaction when you heard about this massive strike last night? A lot of U.S. assets involved, including the USS Florida. What did you make of the retaliation? Did you think it was the right tone and right strength?
Well, Martha, I'm glad that we have finally taken a response that is serious, not like the previous ones, which were way too tepid and way too weak. So this is real. This was a serious response. But my judgment ultimately is you have to cause the Iranians themselves to have real harm done to them, a real cost imposed on them. The Iranians are willing to fight to the last Houthi, right? They won't see this as something that impacts them directly. Every missile, every rocket that's fired on an American is an Iranian-made, Iranian intellectual property, Iranian-trained soldier. This is all Iran-backed, and the Houthis are no more fighting to avenge what happened in Gaza than a man in the moon. They are fighting because the Iranians have put them up to this, and so that's the place we're going to have to go. That's who we'll have to impose costs on. Or, Martha, to your point, as you open the show, we're likely to see continued attacks on American interests in the region.
So what do you think the nature of that is likely to look like? What would you be wanting the country and our military to be prepared for here?
Well, we experienced this as well. We watched the Houthis. You'll remember the Houthis have been firing missiles into Saudi Arabia and into the Gulf for years. And I can't tell you how many Democrat senators screamed at me because we were supporting the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia trying to defend itself from these very Iranian-backed terrorists. And then the first move the administration takes is to delist them, to say, nope, these aren't terrorists. These are people that the United States can work with. And so we ought to both mount a diplomatic campaign. We ought to redesignate them as terrorists. We should be prepared for more missile launches, and our Department of Defense is good. But even if we have a 99% catch rate, even if we stop all of those missiles, we'll eventually have some American hurt. And the president put our soldiers, sailors, and airmen and Marines at risk because he was unprepared to defend the things that really mattered and to deter Iran seriously.
So I want to ask you about this January 1st meeting with all of the heads of the national security team and President Biden, who was in St. Croix at the time on New Year's Day. He apparently did not realize, according to all of the reports, that the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, as they were really planning a retaliatory attack against the Houthis, what would it look like, what kind of assets would be used in this, he didn't realize that he had just been in the hospital. In fact, Austin headed back to the hospital in an ambulance hours later. You know, the more you learn about this, we got a lot more detail on this from some reporting in the Washington Post today. What stands out to you, and what's your concern now as we see this attack carried out while Austin's in the hospital?
Well, Martha, we have a deep bench. We have capable organizations, the White House Council, but this is incomprehensible to me that no one knows who's in charge of that, right? It's not that there can't be planning take place without the president there or the secretary himself. That happens all the time. But the fact that the two most senior leaders, one's on vacation, the other is in the hospital unbeknownst to the other, and apparently the Secretary of Defense's assistant gets some authority but doesn't really even know why. I must say, it's disturbing as someone who was a soldier and then served at the highest levels in the U.S. government to see this level of incomprehensible incompetence and know that our adversaries are seeing this too. It may not well be a coincidence that these attacks have increased in the last few days as a result of them witnessing the incapability of an administration to simply do the blocking and tackling of know where their most senior leaders, the most senior decision makers are located.
Yeah, especially since senior leaders like yourself are also under threat from Iran. I know they just re-upped your security detail. They said the threat still exists against you, and it may be increased based on the escalation that we're seeing. So, Secretary Pompeo, thank you for your service, and good to have you with us today.
You have a good day. Enjoy Iowa, Martha.
Thank you. I always do. It's good to be in Iowa.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.